Welcome to the Rundown. My name is Ryan.
My name is Ray, and boy, have I been waiting for this episode. We had a blockbuster trade go down last week, Ryan, and this is a trade that we discussed might have been in the works for a while now, right? We talked about how neither of us really understood how these talks came about initially, but once the talks began, we definitely understood how this player did not necessarily help himself in a lot of ways. So we're just going to get right into it. Your team, the Boston Celtics, a week ago decided to trade away their finals MVP and the player that led them to the second seed in the East last year with no Jason Tatum. They decided to deal Jaylen Brown to the Sixers for Paul George and some picks. Let's just get into it. How are you feeling about this trade, Ryan?
Well, I know we usually save trash cans for the end, but trash cans is coming to you right the fuck now because this was one of the worst trades I've ever seen in any sport ever. You're trading away a finals MVP, like you said, a person who brought them to the playoffs when no one had any expectations of them going there. For Paul, I'm getting suspended for mental health medication, George, for inconsistent piece of shit, George. What are we doing here?
Oft injured Paul George.
I cannot with this old man shit. What is Paul George, 36?
Yeah, I believe he's 35, 36. Yeah.
I can't even with this trade. This was so dumb. So dumb. Because not only did you trade him away for the horribleness, the pile of shit that is Paul George, you traded him to a rival.
That's the part that gets me. Now, before you continue, I have a question for you, right? So, like, a couple of weeks prior to that, we all know that Giannis Antetokounmpo was on the market, right?
Yes.
And the two teams that came down between were the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics. Now, they were in talks, the Celtics and the Bucks were, for a swap between Jaylen Brown and Giannis Antetokounmpo. So the Celtics offered Brown and I believe a pick for Giannis, and that wasn't enough for the Bucks. They said, no, we want you to throw in a couple of role players too. And the Celtics said, nope, that's too much. We're shutting this down, right? And that was for Giannis Antetokounmpo, a former MVP player in this league. So he ends up going to the Heat. Fast forward just a couple of weeks later, I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around how you say no to trading Jaylen Brown for Giannis Antetokounmpo and then turn around just a few weeks later and trade him for, like, I don't want to disrespect Paul George here, but like, come on. Like,
well, I will. I just disrespected him for a good 2 minutes there.
Help me make sense of this, please. I don't understand what the Celtics did here.
This makes zero sense. None. There's no part of this to me. Paul George does not give us anything that we don't already have. And in fact...
And didn't have already in Jaylen Brown.
Makes us worse. Listen.
Made you over for
Paul
sure.
George, I'm sure he's nice, maybe. I don't know.
Podcast Pete.
Sure. But I cannot fathom what part of you believed this was a good idea. I didn't think the Giannis trade would be good for us either, but I could at least understand the Giannis trade. I could at least get there with, okay, this is the big man we needed. Like, you know, he's a champion himself. He's got skills. Like, I can go along with it, even though he's injury prone and a little older. I got that. Paul fucking George? What, Boston? I can't.
What makes it the most egregious to me is...
I'm so speechless. I can't.
Like, we're in July right now. Like, the playoffs, we're not that far removed from the playoffs. Do the Celtics not remember that they just blew a 3-1 lead to the very team that they traded Jaylen Brown to? Like, you were up 3-1 against a team you should have beat. Let's just be real.
Yep.
The Sixers were banged up. The Celtics, you were a number 2 seed. The Sixers were a play-in team. And you're up 3-1 in that series. You end up blowing that lead. The Sixers advance, and then just a few months later, you trade. I mean, like, Jaylen Brown, some would argue, could be a franchise player.
I think I think that's a very valid argument.
You trade that asset away to a team that is in your own division that just ousted you from the playoffs. And what kills me is Brad Stevens comes out with a quote last week, right? He finally, it's actually just a couple days ago, he finally sits down at a press conference and they're asking him what the thought process was behind the trade. He had the nerve to look around the room and say, "Oh, well, I looked at the competition in the East and realized it was going to be very tough for us to continue competing." Sir, you just made the competition 10 times fucking harder by sending Jaylen Brown to the Sixers. Like, that quote made absolutely no sense to me.
Look, and I know that there is a lot of analytics floating around about Jaylen Brown and what he can do, and is his stats really reflective of the player that he is, the caliber that he is. There's so much happening with that.
Come on, dog.
But you can't, I don't care how bad the locker room is, you can't tell me that any Celtics player is like, great.
Happier today than they were yesterday.
Fantastic. I don't even know what we're doing here. I really don't. So unless this is a part of some bigger master plan that the Celtics have, as of right now, this is absolute fucking trash cans to the nth degree. Again, I've never seen anything like this in any other sport. Like, I'm trying to think of trades that like have blown my mind.
I mean, like, this is akin to the Luka Doncic trade, which I never thought would be topped, honestly. I never thought that there would be another trade where it was just like, what? And I would say the biggest difference between this trade and the Luka trade, right, was when the Luka trade happened, there was no speculation, there was no trade rumors about Luka. Like, it was midnight and we all just got a notification Luka Doncic has been traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, right? So like, that was just out of left field. So we knew that Jaylen Brown had been in trade talks for, I mean, let's just be real, years now, right? Seasons. This is not the first off season that they've like shopped him. But we saw the Bucks interacting with the Celtics and we saw them put Giannis on the table for Jaylen Brown. And we looked at that trade offer and we said, that makes sense because Jaylen Brown's skill level is not quite where Giannis's is because Giannis is an MVP and I'll give him the credit there. But the pick, I remember saying this in the last episode of the pod, the pick that they attached to that Jaylen Brown trade bridged that gap between the skill between Giannis and Jaylen Brown. So that trade didn't work out, right? But then we looked at the rest of the league and we said, okay, so Boston's going to get similar offers to this. Like, somebody's going to trade either a superstar talent or they're going to get a bevy of picks, a bevy of players for Jaylen Brown. So to get what they got, to trade Jaylen Brown to the team that they decided to trade him to, you cannot, there's no way you woke up the next day as a Celtics fan and you felt good about any of this. The only out that I will give Brad Stevens, the only out, is that I will admit it was going to be very hard for them to pay Jason Tatum max dollars and also pay Jaylen Brown max dollars. I don't think any Celtics fan is necessarily surprised that Jaylen Brown was traded. That's not the surprise. The surprise is what the fuck we got for that, which was nothing. Nothing. Literally nothing. Apologies to Paul George, but no. But in fact, Paul George should be apologizing to me. If Paul George was a GM, Paul George would not make this trade. Let's just be honest.
There's no part of this that I think you can point to and say, this is a sensible trade. Because it's just not. It's not. And Paul George isn't like not making any money. He's still making like a decent salary. You're still going to have to pay.
Yeah, no, his contract is one of the worst in basketball. That's why the Sixers had no problem getting rid of him. They definitely wanted to dump his salary on somebody else because his contract is just not a good one. He's been hurt the last several years now. He's not the player that he used to be. Got suspended last year. Like, it's just, Paul George hasn't been Paul George in quite some time now. If this was like 5 or 6 years ago and this was the Paul George that I saw play on the Oklahoma City Thunder with Russell Westbrook, that year Paul George had an MVP type year. But this is not 5 or 6 years ago.
No.
This is the Paul George of today. And the Paul George of today should not be the crux of a deal that involves Jaylen Brown.
When was the last time Paul George played a full season?
That's a really good question. That's a great question.
The fact that you can't answer that question off the bat tells me everything I need to know. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
So not only did you trade for Paul George, who is injury prone, who is not playing at the highest level. I will give him that we did see flashes of vintage Paul George in the playoffs. I'm not going to deny that.
That's true. That's true.
So, but because he's so injury prone, because he's older, now you're going to go into this season. You're going to ask Jason Tatum to play more minutes after he came back from the injury that he came back from. And you're telling me that you don't think that that's going to be a problem? I'm looking at that like that's a problem. Because who's going to share that load?
Going back to that same season in OKC that I was talking about, 2018-19. Since then, starting at 2019-2020, he goes to the Clippers, 48 games, 54 games. Granted, one of those seasons was the COVID shorted season, but 48 games, 54 games, 31 games in 21-22, 56 games, 74 games and 23-24. That was the last time he played over 70 games. The last two seasons, 41 games and 37 games.
We gave up an MVP for this. For this. For
is
Paul
right.
George. For a player with two first names. That's what we gave up.
Now this is not a good look for the Celtics. And if Jaylen Brown goes over to the Sixers,
I don't even want to think about it.
Before we even get into the LeBron of it all, which we'll touch on, if he goes over there, let's just assume LeBron does not go to Philadelphia. But if Jaylen Brown leads that team to a championship, Brad Stevens got to go. The same way Nico had to go from Dallas. Brad's going to have to go because this already looks like a trade that's not going to age well. And unless Jason Tatum has some shit up his sleeve that we haven't seen yet, I don't think the Celtics are better than the Sixers right now. Do you see what the Sixers have on that side? I mean, Embiid, yes, we know about his health, so that's always a catch-all with him. But you got Tyrese Maxey, Vijay Edgecombe, who had a stellar rookie season. You add Jaylen Brown into that mix. That team's looking scary. That team is looking very, very scary.
I don't even know what to say. To me, even in my mind, the Luka trade makes more sense than this. I don't know why, but here, it makes more sense. It makes more sense in the fact that you could tell Nico clearly just didn't like him. So trading him away, to me, I can see that.
Some of you, that's how the Celtics feel about Jaylen Brown.
I can't.
You don't trade away a player that you like or respect.
But they've been talking about trading him for so long, though.
Yeah.
So,
but to me, considering the deal that they just took for him, it was like one of those, here, damn, take him. They really wanted him off their hands.
I can't.
What happened? What happened behind the scenes?
I don't know. And I feel
was it strictly the streaming, the Twitch? What was it?
Listen, everybody wants to make this out also Tatum and Brown didn't get along, they don't like each other.
That's become a narrative now.
And
that has become a narrative.
What if it's like a job. You go to work with this guy, you're not his best friend, but you're coworkers. Can we stop acting like every quote unquote duo has to be friends of a lifetime? I can't. Perhaps they're just coworkers. Perhaps they just get along. That could be the case. Okay. Let's normalize that. Let's normalize co-working relationships in professional sports. You don't have to be best friends with them.
I mean, Kobe and Shaq got it done. We all know about their turmoil. Kobe and Shaq got it done.
Jordan got it done with everybody, and he didn't like almost anyone that he played with. But you learn to just get along or to do things for
you make it work.
You make it work. And listen, I think Brown wanted to lead a team. I think he wanted to be number one. I don't think that was going to happen on the Celtics because I think in everybody's mind Tatum is the one. But I just feel who won in this trade? Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown won in this trade.
Absolutely.
Because
he goes from like a good situation to a great situation.
Yeah.
A place where he actually feels wanted.
Which, good for him. You know, I wish him the best. That poor kid that was just crying that he was leaving the Celtics. Yeah, I mean, at least he went and saw that kid and was like,
you.
Hey.
That was you in here.
I think I just went to I think I was sad you texted me and I was like, I'm sad. And then the next day it was just pure rage at why did this? Why? I'm not even mad we traded him. I mean, I don't like it, but I understood the need for the trade just for what we got. Just what
really a slap in the face to Celtics fans. And do you know, listen, the Celtics and the Sixers are in the same division. You will be seeing them at least 4 times a year.
And you know what? I bet you that when Jaylen Brown comes back, they're not going to boo him. Because they don't look at this and says,
no, not at all.
Brad Marchand, who went from the Bruins, captain of the Bruins, played with him forever, to Florida. He came back when the Panthers played the Bruins. They had a whole montage. I think it was this whole video. The whole crowd was like,
listen, you win finals MVP in that city. They're not going to disrespect him.
The fans, I think, understand that he is not the problem.
Right.
Stevens
this was not a Jaylen Brown thing.
This is no. They can understand why, because I think everybody to some degree understands why he's not there anymore. And it's not, we're not even mad about it, but for you to just disrespect an entire fan base by claiming this great trade, and the great trade is Paul George.
I can almost guarantee that if you guys had traded for Giannis, the sentiment around Boston would not be what it is.
This is a completely different scenario. If we had gotten Giannis, sadness for the Jaylen Brown, but not like this. We're at least welcoming. We're okay, well, let's see what happens here. Now we got to deal with the fact that we've got a player from the 76ers who we don't like. We don't like that team. And we get, Grandpa Paul.
Now, okay, so let me ask you a question now as a Celtics fan. What do you have to see from Paul George this season that would get you to say, you know what, I might have been wrong?
I don't think there's anything that he could show me. He would have to show me the best season he has ever had in the NBA at 36. He would have to show me his mental health, his everything about him would have to be 10 for me to say, well, there you go, worth it. And I don't even think I would say worth it because what if he plays well now? We get one good season out of him?
Right. No, you're right. That's fair. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
I would have rather us traded for Jaylen Brown for 3 22-year-old semi-good people than this. Because then I would have said, well, at least they're young. We can train them up, get them good, But no, none of this.
And what's funny is, if I remember correctly, the Bucks were asking for, Baylor Shireman, I believe. I think Hugo Gonzalez, role players, right? And the Celtics were steadfast, no, it's not happening. This is our deal, take it or leave it. We're not attaching these role players to get Giannis. But then it's why are you coveting these role players just to turn around and trade for Paul George? You could have had Giannis with listen, if I'm the Celtics, right? Your team looks better with Giannis minus these role players than it does with Paul George with these same role players that you didn't want to trade away.
You could have literally traded away the majority of our team. And I would have been well, okay. For Giannis, I would have been I'm not particularly happy about
fresh start.
But
fresh
all right,
start.
Okay.
This ain't it. This is not it. Because like you said, I'm really thinking short term, right? Okay, maybe Paul George can go out there and have a spectacular year. But
he cannot, Ray.
Jaylen Brown is 29. He had at least 4 or 5 more years in his prime.
Especially if he was healthy.
Which he has been. When Tatum was hurt all last year, it was Brown. It was Brown that had to play healthy in order for them to do what they did last year. So
no.
I don't know. You trade away youth and health for age and injury, and like I just
for instability.
Yeah, I don't
Great.
get it.
So excited to have him on the court. And you know what? I don't think Celtics fans are going to be very nice. I mean, I hope they don't boo him.
I really hope they don't boo him.
Boston, though.
Is it out the realm of possibility? No. Like, I could see it happening, but I don't know. Boston fans, for the most part, are like intelligent fans, so I hope they understand, like, Paul George, he doesn't necessarily want to be in that position. Yeah.
Who do you think is worse, Philly fans or Boston fans?
Worse? In what?
Yeah.
Like, in what sense?
More difficult.
Obnoxious?
Yes.
Or difficult,
obnoxious.
like tough on their players?
Yeah.
Well, that's tough. I would say Philly, though.
I think that's.
I would say Philly.
Right.
Yeah, I would say Philly. Like Philly,
you just
Philly
have to
fans are pretty
take
crazy.
a look at the Eagles last season when they were like.
That's really where my mind went. That's instantly where my
maybe
mind.
It's just the Eagles fans.
They're crazy now. Eagles fans are crazy.
They are.
But Sixers fans too. I see a lot.
Well, Sixer fans don't always show. Hello, looking at the
Knicks series,
the Knicks fans.
I think that's not an indictment on the Sixers fans. The Knicks fans are just fucking psycho, bro. They're just crazy. They'll pack any arena. I mean, they got into San Antonio. Like, come on.
I'm still hearing Knicks in 5. I'm like, guys, it's done. Yeah, it's done.
No.
It's so done. Brunson is having surgery. That's how done it is right now.
Mm-hmm, okay. Saw that.
So, trash cans, Boston. Do better. This is sad. I don't even know.
Where do you have them in the East going into next season?
3rd or 4th. I think we'll still do stuff, but I just don't. I think Miami's not going to do as much as everybody thinks they are with this. I don't think this trade was necessarily like beneficial for them in moving the needle. So I don't think they're really going to do anything. I think the 76ers have the potential to play very, very well. I think the Pistons will be back in the mix for sure. Boston, I don't think we're going to like fall apart, but I don't think we're going to make a lot of progress.
Kawhi to Toronto?
I don't know. Is that really like that important?
I'm going to say yes.
I feel like nostalgia purposes, sure, but like
I don't know. Listen, when I saw Kawhi on the court last year, like he still got it. I've never been a Kawhi fan. Like he beat Steph in the 2019 finals, right? That kind of hurt me. So I've never been I've never been a Kawhi fan, but I'm also not a Kawhi hater. My biggest issue with him is that he just can't stay on the damn court. But when I saw him on the court last year in the Clipper uniform, like he was killing. He still has something left in the tank. So I'm interested to see what that looks like, him next to Scotty Barnes in Toronto, a place that he's familiar playing in already. I actually do think that was a huge move in the East.
I think the biggest move I think it'll be interesting to see if LeBron goes back to Cleveland. Not that I'm saying like I think like he's still the same player he was when he last left Cleveland, but I will say that like that.
I think just for the narrative of that story, especially if this ends up being his final season, which I'm inclined to believe like he's done after this year. I really do think this is going to be his last year.
I think he should, just based on like go out while you're still like in a top tier. Like,
right.
Don't stay past your welcome.
Right.
And I say that across all sport, like across the board.
Yeah. You've been consistent with that.
Yeah.
For sure. But I mean, the teams that it's down to now, it sounds like the Heat, the Sixers, and the Cavs are the top 3. So it looks like it's going to end up being a team. I don't know. It looks like it's going to end up being a team in the East, which I'm like, I'm saddened by, because I think the storyline of him playing his final season with the guy that he has so many finals battles with years ago, and Steph Curry, I just think just the storyline of that for the, not just for LeBron, but for Steph too. And the idea of them both winning their 5th title together at the same time, I just think like that's going to be a real big story in NBA history if that went down.
You just want Steph to be more relevant. He also
yes, always. Yes,
he also should fade away.
What?
Yeah, it's done.
What do you? It's not done. Have you seen him play?
He's
You're
not
out of your
winning
mind.
anymore. Then he needs to go to a different team because he's not going to take it with the Warriors.
He's not going to a different team. But
He's not taking it at all.
This is why he needs LeBron next to him. You gonna tell me if LeBron played with Steph next year, they don't have a chance?
No.
You're tripping.
I said this last time on the pod.
They have 8 rings combined between the two of them, and you're not giving them a shot?
League? No.
Wow.
No. They're too old.
Did LeBron play like a geriatric last year?
He didn't play like a young man.
Well, he had Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves to defer to. He took a back seat. I'm pretty confident that if he needed to take a more front-facing role, yeah, he still got it. You can't tell me that he doesn't.
I can tell you
if he
that
goes to Miami and runs that offense next to Giannis and Bam,
no,
because they don't have a point guard, so it's going to be Bron.
I'm still not. You know what? If he goes to the Heat, I think the Knicks would beat them, and I'm not a Knicks fan. Yeah, so what are we talking about here? I'm going to have to deal with another Knicks championship, please.
I don't think the Knicks are better than the Sixers right now. I'm just going to go out and say it. Now that they have Jaylen Brown, I don't think they're better than the Sixers.
I didn't think the Knicks were better than the Spurs. I don't want to talk about this.
I saw some people today, and they got to talk about the Knicks and how they beat the Spurs and how they were surprised that the Knicks beat the Spurs. But they said if OKC had made it, the Knicks definitely wasn't beating OKC. Now, of course, Knicks fans will go ahead and deny this, but
I don't know if that's true.
I'm going to agree. I'm going to say that OKC would have beaten the Knicks too. I'm just going to go on record.
I would have picked OKC to beat them. But the problem was that they were a little beat up.
Right. We're talking about anybody but the Knicks team.
Anybody but the Knicks and anybody but the Sixers.
Because you told me that if it was the Knicks and Steph,
the Warriors, they would root for
the Knicks. That's just blasphemy. Crazy.
No, I would. That's the only time I'm picking the Knicks.
That is crazy. That's irrational. That's irrational. You don't even dislike Steph, so I don't get that.
I do dislike Steph. I don't like it. I don't know what it is.
You're on
I don't like the team. I know.
Population of 1. He's not even a dislikable person.
I don't like his wife.
That's what it was.
I don't know.
As soon as I saw the little look away from the camera, I knew
something about her rubs me the wrong way. I don't like it. Anyway,
me too though. But I'm able to separate.
It's fine.
The two.
Yeah, but I really don't like Draymond. That is the person I don't like on that team. Well, in other Celtics news, I can't say this.
You got it,
Vucevic. I want to say Czech. I don't know why. I want to say Czech. Vucevic on his way to the Orlando Magic. Well, Magic. What a great pick that was. Jesus Christ.
Experiment failed.
Somebody put me ahead of Stevens. Somebody give me that job. This is the thing. Sometimes I think if you put a person who doesn't have all of this experience, if you just put in a regular person who pays attention to sports, who's has knowledge, they're going to make common sense deals. This man's there's no common sense here. Put me in, coach.
When they got Vucevic, I actually thought that was a good deal for them because, Vucevic reminds me a lot of, offensively, of Al Horford, who won a championship with the Celtics, right? So, spaces the floor, can get inside sometimes, but, good mid-range, soft touch near the rim. But the Celtics need a big man that can rebound. And Vucevic has never really been that.
But, we've maybe Mitchell Robinson, who we also got in this shit show of a deal with a free throw percentage that's as good as mine.
But you have good free throw shooters on your team. You don't need your big man to be that.
Yeah, but who are they going to foul all the fucking time, Ray? The guy with 39% free throw percentage in the fucking playoffs. I'm not excited about any of these deals we've made. I didn't want Mitchell Robinson
did you see what a big difference maker Mitchell Robinson was for the Knicks? You cannot deny that. Offensive rebounds, rebounding, he's a presence, blocking shots. He's going to be good for you guys. He has a role. His role is not to score. His role is not to shoot good at free throws. He's scrappy. He's out there to get boards. I didn't
like how he rolled up in that parade in that truck.
Yeah, you hated that.
No, I hated it.
Yeah, you hated that big time.
No. Not liking it at all. And then
They
I read that
definitely
we
needed
got
that.
him. And then that news is
Mhm.
completely overshadowed. So, like, the one piece of news that we
Right.
did get that might have been good of, like, okay, here's your big man, here's your rebounder, here's your, blah, blah, blah. Overshadowed. Paul fucking George. What the fuck?
Hey, at least you still got Peyton Pritchard
Sure. For now. Until
for
we
now.
trade him for,
For now.
Russell Westbrook in the old brigade.
Russell
him on
Westbrook
down.
still a free agent. Still waiting to see where he signs, if anywhere.
Well, he probably is coming to us.
I
For
wouldn't hate
8
that.
other players. I would.
Well, it wouldn't be a trade. He's a free agent, so you just give him
I
a
don't
little
need
bit of.
I don't need old man River up here trying
He's
to tell
pretty
us
old
how
now.
it used to be. Yeah, what are you kidding? Like, no. No.
You're funny, dog. Yeah,
Definitely don't
he's out
need
there,
that. No. I gotta tell you, I'm so disgusted by all these Celtics moves that I like barely paid attention to anything else that happened. But Ja leaving the Grizzlies.
Mhm. I don't know how I feel about that. Ja alongside Damian Lillard. First of all, defensively, I don't like the idea of that. They're going to get picked on. They're both very small guards. Dame has never really been known for his defense. Ja, he's just like not really a big guard. He's a smaller guard. I don't like the defense of that backcourt. Offensively, though, they could be dynamic. I mean, we know what Damian Lillard can do from the 3-point line. Ja Morant has always been a slasher, getting it done in the paint, at the rim. So I like the way they can play off each other offensively, but just two small guards just historically does not bode well on the defensive side of the floor. So, I mean, the Trailblazers are better after this deal.
Sure.
Ja Morant is like, he's not washed up. We all know that. He's had his fair share of controversy with the Grizzlies. They were definitely ready to move on past his antics and the saga with him. He's been hurt a little bit the last few seasons, but I think a fresh start was needed for both sides. So I'm definitely excited to see what Ja Morant can do on a different team. And Damian Lillard has been a vet in this league for a long time. So I think this is a really good person and role model for him to learn alongside of, for sure.
Well, what are the gun laws in Oregon?
Hopefully, very liberal. Hopefully.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, it's Oregon, so
near Cali, right? So,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Well, Ja, know the law before you get there, please, because let's not have that be a mess. What did you think of the Nets pickups?
I like the Mo Wagner. Okay, that's how you pronounce that. Wagner. There we go.
Thank you.
I like the Mo Wagner pickup. He played for the Magic the last few years alongside his brother Franz Wagner. Franz is definitely the better German.
Okay.
I'm guessing, but Wagner, right? Like,
sure. Sounds Eastern European.
I mean, so had I got a notification that the Nets traded for Franz Wagner, I definitely would have been more excited. He's the better of the two brothers, but Mo's good. I'm excited to see him in an extended role. Like he did, his role was never really fleshed out that well on the Orlando Magic, but there's playing time when you play with Brooklyn. You're always going to get playing time on this team. So, and then Keon Ellis was kind of like a low key trade, low key deal for them. But Keon Ellis is another vet, been in this league for a while, and we have like a bevy of point guards. I don't know like what our thing is. We drafted a point guard last year, drafted a point guard this year. We already had like 2 other ones on the roster. But hey, maybe we're just looking for more trade assets so we can go land a big splash. So I'm still just excited to see this rookie that we drafted, the number 6 pick in Michael Brown Jr. So I actually saw one of his summer league games. He did pretty good. Had like 10 or 11 points. One really good assist. And yeah, this is what I'm resting my laurels on. One really good summer league assist.
Wow.
Such is the life of a Nets fan.
Baby steps, we're taking
being
the
excited
wins
about Keon Ellis.
At least you're excited.
We got Julius Randle, you know what I mean? Like, he can score 20 points a game. I don't know the last time we had a 20 points a game scorer, so I mean, I guess I'm a little excited.
Big question for you. What do you think about Kessler to the Lakers?
That's huge.
I feel like that was something that got very overshadowed by all of this Jaylen Brown stuff but also
brought to the
giving enough credence to, but
brought to the forefront too, because I mean, I don't have that exact Walker Kessler deal in front of me, but the Lakers, well, the Jazz, I should say, they got a damn amount of good picks from the Lakers. Like Walker Kessler, the Lakers had to end up shipping out more to Utah for Walker Kessler than the Celtics ended up doing for Jaylen Brown, or the Sixers did for Jaylen Brown. Like that, the fact that Walker Kessler fetched more in a trade than Jaylen Brown did doesn't really make sense to me. But hey, if you're Utah, like you'll take it, and if you're the Lakers, for Luka on that team, like Luka needs a big man to thrive. It was kind of the same way when he was in Dallas. Like he had Powell. I can't remember the other center that he had. Derek Lively. But yeah, Luka is best when he has a big man that knows how to finish at the rim. Walker Kessler, I believe, can shoot the ball, so he can space the floor for them. I actually really like this deal. But like, if you're LeBron and you're looking at this, it's like, I can kind of understand why he walked away from the Lakers, because like, I'm sure LeBron has been asking the Lakers for things throughout these last few years that he felt would make this team a little bit better. And it doesn't really seem like the Lakers have gone out and done these moves. But it's like the second that they get Luka Doncic, it's like, okay, Luka wants a big man. All right, Walker Kessler, we're going to get you over here.
You know what?
Like,
I feel like LeBron cashed in a lot of chips when he was like, you got to draft Bronny. And the Lakers are like, okay, but we're not going to do anything else for you.
Listen.
Like we're gonna.
You can't say the Lakers never did nothing for him.
That's right. Well, he won a championship with them. Like he did.
He did. So I mean, they both paid their dues, and I think the time of their split was fitting, and it was necessary. Yeah. And I think at this time in LeBron's career, like, hand the keys over to Luka. Let Luka do his thing on the Lakers. Let him carve out his own legacy. And LeBron, like, this is the end of your legacy. So pick where you want to go to finish this legacy out. And me personally, like, I think the better story is if he ends up on the Cavs, just the 3-1 deficit to the Warriors that they came back from, just like the culmination of all those things. Not to mention, I mean, I didn't forget, they have Donovan Mitchell still. I'm just going to throw James Harden's name in there, but if you have LeBron come to that team, then you don't necessarily need James Harden to be the James Harden of 2017, 2018. You'll have LeBron lessening that load on him. But the other, I think, interesting story would be if LeBron goes back to the Heat. Honestly. No. I do. He won that 72 championships.
Don't go back to that toxic ex. Just don't do it, LeBron. Don't do it.
It would be a good story either way. To returning to one of the two teams that he brought championships to. And then if he goes to the Sixers, I think it's GG's. I think the East can just pack it up if he goes to the Sixers, because I just think that team would just out the water, to be honest. Healthy, right? Well,
that's the thing, is like Embiid's got to be, like there are pieces to that puzzle that,
which I'm sure LeBron is considering. Absolutely.
Well, I hope he goes back to Cleveland, just because I think I like the symmetry of that.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm still, let's just, for the record, I'm still not giving up on this LeBron to the Warriors idea. I'm not.
I think you should. I mean, I know that AD, like the Wizards shut that down real fast, that AD was not going to go to the Warriors, because I feel like that was, talk as well. Listen, I think it could still happen. Draymond didn't take that extension. He took a pay cut somewhere along the line. So I think that there's still hope for that. I wouldn't dismiss it. Because listen, we all thought like 3 weeks ago, I think now, 2 or 3 weeks ago, everyone was like, oh my God, it's gonna be Giannis to Boston. And it was like, that just took over and see how that worked out. We got
before Jaylen Brown went to the Sixers, like, the Warriors really were their front runners just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
To sign LeBron. So, I mean, the NBA offseason, everything changes day to day. So, this has definitely been like,
I need a palate cleanser.
Less than a month into the offseason, and this has been quite the turmoil going on in the NBA. I love it personally.
I need the palate cleanser of the NFL, please.
Yeah, something to
I just need
get the Celtics and basketball off your mind for a little bit. I mean, you could always go just watch the Mets.
I don't need that much of a palate cleanser. My God. Do you want my mental health to be on par with Paul George? No. Come on.
You're on one today.
But what I will say, I did find this interesting, that the first round pick that the Bulls chose is Caleb Wilson. That's his name. So you got a Caleb Wilson and you got a Caleb Williams. Which Caleb is going to be king of that city? I can tell you, it's probably not going to be Caleb Williams because he's going to move to Indiana. Small mini rant about fucking Caleb Williams. You're going to put him on the fucking Madden cover because he had a few great games with some great passes. But if you look at his stats, he's at the bottom of the fucking list. And that's who you put as your Madden guy?
This is questionable at best.
Absolute trash cans.
This is like
the Ryan episode of trash cans. Like,
I've been letting you cook. I love it.
So bad.
A few years ago, though, they had,
angry.
I think it was 2022, 2023, they had Jazz Chisholm on the cover of MLB The Show for that year. And people were not happy about that. He's been getting ragged on about that ever since. Like,
well,
overrated players.
Sometimes you just, overrated players. And that's not to take away from the greatness that they have when they have the greatness. Because listen,
absolutely
even
not.
as a Packer
Jazz
fan,
is a Yankee. I will always root for him.
Well, I'm never going to root for Caleb Williams, but I can say, even as a Packer fan, I can admit those were some nice plays. You did well.
Nice plays do not make the cover of Madden.
No, consistent plays and stats. Absolutely not, Caleb Williams. I'd have rather seen Patrick Mahomes half dead on the cover of that thing than Caleb Williams, which he was by the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. Mahomes on a stretcher on the cover.
Yeah, I mean, I would have taken it. The tagline could have been like, bring him back to life, like with your Madden, like, ugh, no, terrible. But, listen, football season's right around the corner. We're so close. Another month till preseason. I'm a little nervous, but we're going to figure it out. And, go Packers.
Apparently, according to the Browns, Shedeur Sanders has closed the gap for the QB1 competition. So he's no longer in trade talks, whatever that means.
I want you to pick a different team. I want
me to pick a different team.
Pick a different team. I'm going to allow it. I'm going to allow you to pick a different team.
No, I'm going to hang in there.
God,
I'm going to hang in there.
So sad.
I can't do it before the season starts because what if they start popping off?
They won't. Who are you kidding?
No, I know they won't. I know they won't.
They're going to be, I bet you, they'll be last in the division this year.
Really going out on a limb there.
Or I think the Bengals are going to get it a bit more together.
Yeah, for sure.
And we'll have to see what the Ravens do with a whole new coach.
Yep.
I mean, I can tell you exactly what the Steelers are going to do because I watched it for a really long time as a Green Bay fan. They're going to be adequate.
Mm-hmm. They won't be terrible. They do a good job at not being bad.
But they won't be great.
Right.
Mid-tier. Oh, Ray, what am I going to do with the Celtics? I'm so angry about it. Still.
You know what?
It's been like 2 weeks.
I'll let you jump teams. How about that?
No,
I'll let you kick the Celtics to the curb.
I can't. What am I going to leave a team with 18 championships? For what? One that just got their third? Please, get out of here.
Yeah, be a Knicks fan.
I'd rather die.
Be sure.
I'd rather be any. No, I'd rather be like any other team but them. Oh my God! You know what? That should be. Who would you rather be a fan of? If I had to choose between the Bears and the Knicks. My God, I don't even know what I do.
I think you'd choose the Knicks.
I could choose the Bears.
Really?
I hate the Knicks. And I can't tell you why. I just know that I hate them. And it's hard for me to be happy for them.
Super. Their fans make it hard.
They do. Well, that's going to do it here for us, the rundown. We'll see you next week.
Hell, y'all.